Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Uh, Good morning, Roman, and good morning, Barbara. Hey, we have a special show today because this is all about Roman and Barbara. So instead of being the co host, he's actually the guest along with his wife, Barbara. I'm very excited because you are doing something fantastic out in Oregon, and we would love for you to share what you're doing right now.
Barbara, you start.
No, you start.
No, you start.
You start, Barb. Go
So,
ahead.
we've been in Oregon looking for a property for about a year and a half, and we finally just found one. Partly going to be our home, but the primary is going to be starting kind of like a dog people healing center. So Roman and I both work a lot with dogs with trauma, a lot of rescue animals and things like that. And so we wanted to create a space where people could come and not only kind of work with their dogs on their behavior issues, help them heal their trauma, but also to have a better connection with their animals. And we both firmly believe that people can heal through their pets, any type of a pet. Our favorite is obviously dogs, but that people can come and go through their healing process with their animals involved. So it's not just helping your animal to heal, but you heal in the process of helping your pet. So we're in the very beginning stages of creating a space for that.
Well, who do we have with us here today? Our fur friend.
This is Misha.
Misha actually was about 9 years ago. My boss at the time was cleaning out his car, and he noticed a box in the dumpster, and so he pulled out. He saw that it was moving, and he pulled it out, opened it up with his key, and sure enough, a little pregnant Chihuahua jumped out of the box and started running around. So he called me and said, "Can you come out here?" And it took me about 2 or 3 hours of just sitting in the parking lot with my back turned to her, throwing her treats, to where she would finally follow me. And then fortunately, I had my other dog with me, and they fell immediately in love. And so she followed him to the car, and I was able to take her to my house. And then she had to go to emergency surgery because the babies had died. She was really sick. She had really severe trauma. She wouldn't let me touch her for about 6 months. She wouldn't let anybody touch her except for other dogs. She was really dog friendly. And look at her now.
Yeah, great.
If you're not touching her, she's upset about it. So this is a beautiful story of how healing can help a dog go from really being terrified of people and not wanting any interaction to being really loving member of the family.
Right. So Roman, now I understand that when you and Barbara went to purchase this, were you looking for a 100-year-old home that you would have to renovate? How did you decide on that? Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm seeing you with all this with all this equipment on, and you're cleaning the bathroom, you're you're doing everything, and I thought, hey, maybe he flips homes. Who knows?
So it was a long journey. Having a healing space. The idea of having a healing space started in 2011, where I recognized that the problem of behavior healing, which I call, starts not only on the dog side, it starts on the human side too. When people have their lifetime experiences and traumas, they tend to adopt dogs that have similar trauma to themselves. So there's an emotional connection between the dog and the person. And I recognize if you can help the person through the dog, recognizing what the dog is going through in his emotional trauma, they'll be able to recognize their own trauma and work through that. By helping their pets healing the trauma, they gain experience from that and deal with their own stuff at the same time. Now, from my understanding as a healer as well, and Barbara, I guess, agrees with it, is that both humans and dogs are going through an essential process, and there's a reason why they both meet. It's not accidentally. And even we see, well, dog is from a shelter, and the dog will never be able to pick a person. Well, once that once that meeting occurs in any place, that clicks. And there's a whole magic event happening in the background we're not aware of, where this relationship bond starts and the healing process is activated. Now, there's a belief system out there: the dogs need to be corrected, and there's a whole agenda about how do we treat animals, and animals are servants of people, and this is such a unfair situation that I just didn't want to be part of it. And that's why I thought creating a healing space or / education place for professionals and individuals to come and learn about that and learn how to create a bond and learn how to share that experience with others would be a good place to start.
Okay, so when you're doing all this renovation, I think to myself, by the end of the day, you and Barbara must be really pooped. Let's take a look at, seriously, let's take a
work.
Yeah, right.
We still have day jobs, so yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
let's look at this beautiful property that you have.
Yeah.
Tell us about this picture.
So this is the front of the property. There's a little 100-year-old house. That's the front yard, basically. And it is, you asked before kind of like how this come about. We have literally, Oregon has a property shortage right now. So everything is going fast. So we would look at a property. We had a real estate guy who was working for like a real estate investment firm who was looking for properties for them. So half the time we were getting listings before they even went out. And by the time we got to the property and even put an offer down, there would already be 10 or 11 offers, most of them over asking price, a lot of them cash, things like that. So it wasn't for a lack of trying. And what happened with this property was, it was kind of a magical thing that happened where we just
we were the first.
We were the first. So I was driving down the road and I had my Zillow app up, and all of a sudden it wasn't there. There wasn't a dot there, and then there was a dot there. So I looked at the pictures and I was like, oh, this is perfect size, everything. It's got a stick-built house instead of a manufactured home on it. Let's call the realtor. And he got us in to look at it. Roman was in there in about 2 hours. At that point already, 6 people had looked at it, but nobody had put an offer on it. So 6 people in 2 hours of it listing.
Wow.
So yeah, it was crazy. For some reason, these people took our offer, and then they stuck with it. And then, we were supposed to close in September, and then the fires happened, and we couldn't close. So because we couldn't get an appraiser out there because we were in a fire zone, and none of the insurance companies would bind our contract. So we couldn't get it. So we finally got it October 25th.
Wow.
So it was a real fight. I mean, I can't tell you how many properties we looked at and put offers on. We are lucky, though. The one that we really wanted ended up burning down in the fire. So we actually got quite lucky that we got this property, because it was way far away from any of the fires. And it's
so Gaetan, what do you think about our co-host being in construction now?
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Do you know which hand of the screwdriver to use?
Right.
There's a large part and the slim part. Well, the large part go in your hand, and the slim part go to the screw. Okay.
Yeah. And when you hammer, you do not hammer your finger. Don't put your finger up there.
No. It's for the nail only.
Yeah, right.
I did it 3 times.
Yeah.
So he's got wounds everywhere. Right
yeah. So let's take a look at some more of this property. Now, this property is going to be used for the Integrated Holistic Health Center, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so look at this beautiful property here, folks. I don't know if any of you are familiar with property, but it's very difficult to find, and I know you're going to have to do a lot of clearing, but even right now, you've just got a beautiful place there. Okay, look at that.
Oh, you're looking at Barbara's healing corner.
That's my healing space. That's where I go and do my Tai Chi every morning.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to share a little bit of the video that you had done?
Okay.
Yeah, about your renovations.
If he makes a cuss word because he
Did I?
trips on something.
Did I?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe. Well,
Okay.
you're going to share a little bit. Hopefully.
I
in
said
this
the shithole. Which
Oh,
was
now
the,
he
was
just said it. So
sorry,
it's
it was
out
the
there.
toilet.
Okay. Well, you can comment wherever you want to on this.
Okay.
Before I have
All
another
right.
breakdown, and I will not be able to do the video. I'm going to share you a little bit of the video what's going on here now. So let me switch the screen. I'm going to show you what's going on inside the house. A couple of days ago, I showed you what's going on outside of the house. So let me show you my trash. That's the trash.
That's
So
a
down
lot of
here
stuff.
is basically the bathroom and the bedroom, and up here is bathroom, bathtub, etc., etc. Okay, so we are on the deck. Don't get fooled by that. That has to go. Jacuzzi. Just in case you need a big water bowl, you don't want that. So that's my old ex bathtub, brand new. Okay, just came outside from the inside, so she's very new outside. And that's our wonder team. These guys here, the plumbers. They are my heroes because they went in where I would never even look into it. That's kind of sort of a shithole kind of
See?
thing. Once upon a time, hold downwards. We see somebody working down here. You're alive. Yep, he's working. He's the only one who's working here. Everybody else is watching. he's my hero number one. This is hero number two.
Now that's your bathroom,
So there
right?
was a bathtub.
Yeah, we had to get it.
There
was hundreds of mice under that tub when Roman cleared it.
Don't pet the dog. And so they put the new valve in here because the old one didn't exist. New pipes.
And also we found out we have no insulation anywhere in the house when we started ripping this up. So we got to insulate the whole house.
Yeah, that here is 90% of that. Better idea. So this is a unique bathroom because you can get it directly out of shithole, directly out in nature, right there. So that is here, the bedroom. Okay, that's a little bit half work done. I'm not done yet, so I just put sheetrock up. I'm gonna finish up insulation done. There was no insulation there, and that's supposed to become a cabinet for clothes.
Sorry, my English.
Oh, yeah, well, here likely is all the dog treats being here safe. The door is damaged because it was never been really a door. Some wild animals chewed on it.
Yeah, they had
Over
dogs.
here, that's the bedroom. It's kind of the blue room that becomes Barbara's office and healing space. And over here, the secret upstairs. Who knows what the people were growing up here back all the time. It's a great room. Okay, I'm gonna hide dog beds, and that staircase will go. We're gonna use a new one over here. Gonna fall down, and here's the living room. Ta-da! Okay, the stove that doesn't work. That needs work too. What's that? Oh, that's the bed. Kind of some toolboxes, leftovers, cabinets. So that's supposed to work, but it didn't work. Somebody was very smart to shortcut some wires. I figure it out before we burn down. That will be my office. Not yet, but it's getting there. So, okay, I will turn. That's my nemesis. Up. Good. There you go. So that's supposed to be the office. Don't get worried. That was once time closed. That's the top. So that on top, this one here, is what was here. So that's what a double-sided cabinet door was. I don't know what happened in the past. Maybe it was kind of completely different home setting. I had to short the floor. That will be connected with that side, and I will make that an extension of the kitchen. And speaking of kitchen, that was the kitchen sink. And here you look outside. And then from here, that has to go. And this has to go. So we open up the kitchen all the way to the back. So the dog can go here through, right? Not be around the corner. So that's a chimney here. The chimney starts here and goes all the way to there, and then it stops.
Yep.
I'm going to stop here
Yeah.
a second. I wanted to say that we want to follow you for every move that you make in making this into a holistic health center for dogs, because you know, I think to myself, it's just like anything else. When you, let me put this down here a second. When you start something, nobody understands the development or the making of it. So here you are at the very beginning, at the ground level, and you are moving forward with this. And once it's all done and people are going to see that, at least you'll be able to go back and say, okay, here's what it looked like before we started.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
I was lucky in Greece. I went to the Asclepius Center. It's a huge center that was built in ancient Greece. I think it was around 400 or 500 before Christ. And it was a huge area where people came in for healing. And I was so inspired because in this healing center, it looked like an entertainment center, but it was a healing center. There was a huge theater fitting 33,000 people. There were catacombs. There were dealt to have people going through a traumatic experience at their birth. So each station of that healing center was a healing process, and people would go in sick and would come out healthy in a month. And that was so inspiring to me. I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. We have something like that. All we have is a hospital. All we have is a psychotherapy clinic, but there's no, psychosomatic experience anymore. It's just, mechanics and chemicals. And that was so inspiring.
And choke collars.
And choke collars, and training collars.
And forced rolls, and bad food and all of that good stuff. So part of this too is that's going to be the main house where we're going to have offices, and obviously we've got to have a place where we can stay. We are also planning on building a Quonset hut on the property. Once we get it cleared and we know where we can put it, that's going to be a place hopefully where we can have maybe 60 or so people come in to do group classes,
After
things
COVID.
like that. After COVID, of course. And then also we want to put a few tiny houses on the property. So we'll have a loft in the Quonset hut for people to stay, as well as have a few tiny houses on the property so people can actually stay on the property.
Oh wow! Oh wow! So you're talking like a couples resort, but the couples are the dog and the human. Oh, yeah, how cool is that?
So it's not just for people to like come for a day thing, but it's also going to be for hopefully that's our end goal, is so that people can come and stay, especially when we have situations like we just had recently, where we were both working with a couple who ended up having to rehome their Pyrenees because the dog bit, a couple of people in the house, and it was really just because the dog had a lot of trauma. And if they had the time and the space to really kind of spend a few days with the dog and really get to know the dog and have the dog bond with them in the right way, they would not have needed to rehome the animal. I'm convinced of it. They just didn't have the time. They didn't have a means or a way of doing that. We don't have the means or way to spend all that time with people. So that's partly why we're trying to create it, is so people can come and they can spend a few days with Roman, especially, and me a little bit, probably more than I realize, and really kind of bond with their animal in a way that they couldn't before, and hopefully save more animals from euthanasia for behavior issues. Because most of the time when a dog has a behavior issue that's causing to where they're starting to bite people or other animals, it's because they have trauma, and so that's kind of where we come from, and helping people to understand it more. We also want to educate people, have people from different rescues come and do a seminar or a workshop there, and they can bring their pets with them and stay and do all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of really big plans. It's probably going to take us a couple of years. We don't have a lot of money right now because we had a lot of unforeseen expenses. We have the entire plumbing needed to be redone. All the wiring needed to be redone. Even when we just redid the plumbing, we found out that the plumbing going from the well to the house is not working either. So
and by the way, we don't have water in the.
So we don't have water. So we're probably going to have to get a water tank. Oh, what else? Oh, no insulation. We have to redo the floors.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's a money pit. But we kind of knew going in that, and we saved a bunch of money for it, but it's costing more. So the stuff that we wanted to do, we had enough to get a Quonset hut, but now we're going to have to wait on that. But that's okay. We're going to get it at least set up to where we can have people come out for the day to start out with, and then we'll kind of go from there. Right.
Okay, so Gaetan, is this something that they said they have an extra hut there, so you and I could probably go there. I could bring Charlie, and
We're going to create some RV spots.
We have.
Oh, are you?
I have already 2 spots, and I'm gonna work with a third one, so people who have their own vehicle and they want to come more private.
Yeah, we have water and power. We just don't have sewer right now for hookup yet, but we will.
So I bring my RV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll
Very
up
good.
in your RV.
I'll swing by New Mexico, and then I pick up Kathy.
It's only
and
like 1,300 miles, no problem.
that's okay.
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
why you have an RV.
It's a lovely drive up here. Go through Utah. It'd be great.
So Barb, I heard you talking about that, your healing center, and I know that you have a website, and I'm going to put this into the description so that everybody can get to us. Tell us about you, what you do.
Oh, okay. So I do a couple of types of healing. I'm an intuitive healer, and then I also do what's called reconnective healing. That's primarily what I use with dogs. I work on both animals, all different animals of all different kind, and people. And reconnective healing is a really cool modality that I learned. I was a Reiki practitioner. I was actually volunteering at a hospital. A lot of hospitals and insurance companies now actually, they will pay for Reiki for their.
Really? Oh,
Reiki,
that's
yeah.
good.
So this is a new thing. So I shifted and started doing reconnective healing when I had my own healing. And then Rowan and I actually met because I did a reconnective healing session on one of his dogs it wasn't his dog, it was a foster dog that he had done everything that he could with. And he was moving to Arizona. And if he couldn't get this dog to not kill other dogs, the no-kill shelter was going to put the dog down. So he was at his wit's end. He didn't want to give her back, but he already had 3 dogs and he just couldn't do it. So he asked me to work on her, and we did a trade. He helped me with my aggressive dog, and I helped him with his aggressive dog. So he did a behavior session on my dog, and I did a healing session on his dog, and both of the dogs, healed. And
it was a win-win kind of thing.
Yeah. So we noticed that when Roman has a really difficult issue with an animal that has intense behavioral issues that may be caused by trauma, like with the rescue dogs, just about every rescue dog has a trauma at the barest minimum, abandonment trauma. It can also be really scary in the shelter when they first get there.
Yeah.
They don't know what's happening to them. Even though you have people who are really kind to them and trying to help them, they're terrified. They don't know what's going on. This can cause a lot of long-term trauma and stress in a dog. So Roman noticed that with some dogs, doing the energy work in conjunction with doing the behavior part of it was having a big impact. It kind of like cleared away those trauma layers to make it easier for the dog to be trained, basically, for lack of a better way to put it. It also helps the dog parent to connect in with their animal better, because the way that I do healing sessions, I actually get off the phone and I do the healing session looking at a picture, and I have the owner watch the dog while I'm doing the healing. And there's something about them being involved in the process that helps them to connect with the dog better and helps the dog with the healing process, but it also can help to heal the relationship between the person and the dog, if that's part of what the challenge is.
So a lot of it is about energy, right?
Yeah. It's a style of energy work that a gentleman named Eric Pearl came up with, who is a chiropractor in California. And he started noticing that he was having really good results doing doing energy work along with doing the chiropractic with his patients. So he ended up like teaching other people how to do it, and he taught me how to do this. So it works great on physical stuff, but it works really, really well. In fact, I had never worked on a dog before for behavior issues until Roman asked me to. I didn't even know that you could. But I do know when you have a session yourself, you feel very relaxed afterwards. So we thought at the barest of minimums, it's going to just help the dog relax a little bit. But it did way, way more than that. So, it doesn't always work, just like medicine doesn't. We have pretty good success rate, though, when we work
beyond
together.
90%.
It's been really good.
So give us a scenario here about what are the symptoms and what are the reasons why somebody should come to your holistic integrated center?
Well, the first one that I see a reason is when the dog has behavior that is complex, a complex trauma behavior. The dog is biting for no reason. Obviously, people don't see the reasons. Dogs has severe abusive past or trauma in the past from previous adoption or rescue efforts.
If you can't get a positive trainer, there are a lot of positive trainers who won't work with certain animals because they don't work with aggressive animals or reactive animals. That's another thing that happens a lot.
When there are different routes done by veterinarians doing the medical behavior assessment and physical behavior assessment doesn't give clear conclusions why a behavior occurs. So their dog is healthy and still has behavior issues, as being different routes gone through the process of changing the behavior and didn't have any success. The dog regress back again. That would definitely something to look into.
So if you have a dog that's on medication, like they give dogs Prozac and stuff like that now, if you have a dog that has to be sedated or medicated for their behavior issues, those are other people that we really want to come and work with, because we can help that dog to shift the behavior so that they can eventually have their vet take them off the medication.
Okay, now are you taking in any dogs that are not going to be with their owner? Or do they need to be with their owner?
At that point, no. I do work with 2 or 3 rescues that I'm very close about, and that's a different conversation. But for now, we're focusing on dogs and people come together with the dogs going through a healing process. It's not about me doing the healing work in particular. I want people to learn how to do that and share that information with others. I want trainers and behaviorists come in and see the energetic aspect of their work. There are amazing trainers out there, positive reinforcement trainers, reward-based trainers. They're stuck with the system, not being able to go beyond that system. I was there in that spot. I was like, I'm doing everything right. Why is it failing, right? And we see so many punishment reinforcement trainer that says, well, positive training doesn't work. That's why we do punishment. It's because people don't see that healing aspect that has to happen in the background because of that energetic blueprint. Reinfects the dog back again with old behavior patterns because nobody has access to it. So people go into force.
Right.
And causes another trauma to balance another trauma.
Right, because they have no other options right now, but there are other options. They just don't know what you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And so the thing of it is the thing with me, both myself and Roman, our big thing is teaching the teachers, so to speak. We want people to learn how to do what we do. We don't want to be the only ones who do what we do. We want other people to know what we do, and we want that to spread so that we can get rid of all of this negative reinforcement training, the alpha theory training, all the stuff that's become so prevalent. I mean, we talked to a trainer who was using a shock collar just to teach a dog how to sit. And we were like, this has gotten out of control.
And he was spiritual.
And he was like he was a Buddhist.
Wow, really?
So yeah, and so it was really kind of shocking to us to really see how negative things have come in the dog training business, and we want to shift that. And also, rescues are just so inundated by animals right now. It's insane. There's so many dogs out there who are in such a state, like we were talking about before you started. that is just something to us that is unacceptable. Every dog deserves a chance. We know shelters who are really reverting to negative reinforcement because they really want the dog to be safe and they want people to be safe.
We did workshops with shelters who are open to energy work. We
Yeah.
actually did a class in our shelter with I think there were 13 behavior team members and the
We
rest
taught 'em
were
Reiki.
volunteers. we had 13 Reiki people graduating that class and applying that directly in the shelter. So it's not only about people coming here and doing work here, it's also us being able to go there and teaching, those classes, because I feel the energy aspect is such a taboo word in dog training because
It
it's kind
is,
of
yeah.
woo-woo, right? It's kind of like groovy thing.
Do you know where it's not though? Horse training. There's a lot of horse trainers.
Yeah, horse whisperer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, where is here? Where are you in Oregon?
We are in Eugene, Oregon, about 20 miles outside.
No, 11 miles outside of Eugene proper. So we're about 11 miles from the center of town. So
Okay.
It's great because we are in this very beautiful wine. We're in wine country. If anybody likes wine,
Yeah, well,
there are wineries.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are wineries all around.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
There's tons of bed and breakfasts. And then if you just want to stay in town, you can stay in Eugene, which has beautiful little hotels and bed and breakfasts.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous
location-wise, it's
city.
very nice.
Yeah. And so it's nice because we're close enough to where it's a 20-minute drive to
There's
go
an
to all the
airport
grocery
in Eugene,
stores.
so people can fly in.
And yet you drive out and all of a sudden you're in this beautiful forested country with, what's amazing. You just drive a mile down the road and you've got, they've got like free range, forest raised chickens and cows. There's all these vegetable and fruit stands along the side of the road.
You want to go healthy?
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, I was mentioning that, Gaetan, you had the opportunity to fly with Julian from Pet Rescue Pilots.
Yep.
And
I'm coming.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing, which you might not know, Gaetan, is that we're just starting to have some transports in Eugene, Oregon. So if you go there, it might be an opportunity to not only see what's interesting is that the dogs that we get here that are transported out, not all of them are problems, but some of them are problems. And we have to find a transport receiver that is willing to take that dog. So what we'd love to be able to do is have a trainer that can say, we'll take that dog, work with the person, because right now we're not transferring from shelter to shelter. We're transferring from shelter to foster or to a person that's already adopted them.
Right. Because you're moving them out of a shelter.
Right.
One of my specialties is basically remote online training. Since 2007, I practiced that. Back then Skype just did start,
right? Yeah.
And I had colleagues working mainly with trainers colleagues because of the complexity. Over that period of time, I got more and more with regular people, and right now I think I have about 2,500 people that I've worked with online.
Wow.
Over the years, with aggressive behaviors, dog beat child, dog killed cat, dog attacked human, dog attacked another dog on property. So situation where people usually go to euthanasia or surrendering or rehoming. And I do work closely with right now 3 national rescues and work with their fosters as a foster educator and coach. So they get dogs in and I work with them the moment the dog comes in. So I can do evaluation eventually in Eugene area with the dogs who come from the airport, do a quick evaluation and then transmit that information to the adopter. The adopter calls home and he being then followed through.
Right. But then he also does online education for all of those as well.
Oh, speaking of that, here.
Yeah. So, the thing of it is that doing that online education right now during COVID is a really great time for shelters and rescues to go ahead and get their staff educated, get their volunteers educated while we're kind of going through this process and so that when everything's able to kind of open back up again, they can be ready and maybe shift what they're doing, because for a lot of shelters and rescues, what they're doing right now isn't really working. They're really struggling with behavior in animals, and they're having to spend a heck of a lot of money bringing trainers in to help them.
Right.
I mean, this, I can't even tell you how many times we've heard that, how many thousands of dollars.
Yeah, $1,600 for a dog who basically growled at the child.
Yeah,
which
and
is
then
done in an hour or two.
Yeah, and then you know, they have these trainers who kind of gouge the shelters, and so we want to teach the staff how to help these dogs so that they can become more adoptable. You know, and also help the adopters and be able to educate them a little bit better. So all of these things kind of are things that we want to accomplish. Just that's something that he already does.
Mm-hmm.
And the Healing Center is going to be an added bonus to that. So where we can really kind of dive deep into people who have really want a better relationship with their pet, and really want to go through a healing process with their pet.
And I'm a crossover. I was one of those people. I point the finger right now and saying, this is a bad trainer.
Yeah.
Is punishing dogs, using a shock collar, choking the dogs. I was one of them once upon a time. And I'm not proud of that time, but
it was a very short period.
It was a experience on my side, and I learned a lot what people are going through, why they choose those methods. So I know both sides. I know how to get out of there, and I know how you get in there.
Right.
And that's why I consider myself a very well, accomplished shock collar trainer who has magic tools to fix dogs like that. And I had no clue what damage I'm doing until one day I got up and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. Most people who use those tools, both people, just pet parents and trainers, it's literally because they think that, and also a lot of shelters who use that, they literally think that they're saving the dog's life by doing that if they weren't using it, that the dog may run out in the street and get run over, or the dog is going to be aggressive and they're going to have to put him down. There's all these different reasons for it that we've heard. And Roman's main mission here, in all things, including in creating this space, is to shift consciousness around that we do not have to go to those tools to help to save a dog's life. We don't have to go to those tools to help keeping people from getting bit. I mean, I can tell you probably half of his clients who've had some sort of bite incident. The bite incident happened after they did shock collar training. For just general training. That's not an exaggeration, I don't think, is it?
No.
Yeah. So
it does make sense no matter how you look at it. I never did understand shock collars. I'm more into the praise side of it, praise and reward, and being a well, I'm an empath, so you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I'm the same way, because I'll feel it myself, and it's purely selfish reasons. Like same.
So Gaetan, what do you think about Roman's new place? Are you ready to go there?
Well, yes, I'm kind of envious.
Are you?
Yes, it's beautiful. It's in nature. It's inviting. I've just waited for the opportunity. You were mentioning Eugene, Oregon, and Julian flying maybe there. I know he's doing the West Coast all the way to Vancouver. And if I have the opportunity, I did receive an invitation for another mission with him. So if we have the opportunity there, and if it's happened, he's going to Eugene, Oregon. I guess I'll take the opportunity there.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
I would wait until we're just going into our rainy season. We may not see the sun until March.
Yes, I know.
Okay, when do you anticipate your house being ready?
Oh God.
Well, tomorrow.
It's going really fast, but you have when you do construction, you have to wait for inspections. And there's so
Mhm.
much construction going on right now because of the fires. People are rebuilding. It's really hard to get inspectors in here. So right now, we don't have a toilet or a bathtub. We can't even do anything until the inspectors come to take
So
a look at
hopefully
it.
that week we have done with the inspection.
Right.
We start closing.
We're hoping that by mid-December we'll be fully
Oh,
complete.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I mean,
fantastic.
obviously we're not gonna. The house will be done, so we'll have bedrooms people can stay in and stuff. We won't have all of the other accoutrement, but we'll
So
have.
Do you
I
have
know-
room
I
service?
know
Do you have
Gaetan
room
is
service?
a very. I know Gaetan is a very special cook. Okay. And
Yes.
so I want to make sure that the kitchen is ready for
Yes.
us
Yeah.
to receive the guests.
Very important.
Yeah.
I will be delighted to do it.
Okay.
Yay.
And now we
That's
have
a
3 GoPro cameras watching exactly what you're doing. We're gonna
So
do
you
a
can
special.
steal
Yeah.
recipes.
We're gonna do a special Gaetan dog human recipe. So
okay.
we're gonna make a menu where the humans and the dogs can eat together from the same 2
Meal.
different plates.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm with you.
Okay. Actually, what
You
was
might be
what was
surprised, by the way.
yeah? What was the recent pie that you just made?
It was a pear, caramel pear, last
Oh
week.
my
Today,
gosh.
I'm
Yeah.
finishing. I'm about to publish
drool.
later today or tomorrow morning tomato pie, which is a French recipe that I discovered about 3 months ago. And I try it, and it's absolutely delicious. Very easy to prepare.
Okay. Good.
And so we're about to publish this video, and then we have a savory pie coming. It's kind of a vegetarian part of the meat pie version, and this
Yummy.
is coming next week. And I did that for a large gathering of about 200, almost 300 people. And somebody told me at the gathering, tasting the food, say, "Hey, this is restaurant quality." And so the people really enjoy that one. It's an alternative to the meat pie for the holiday.
That sounds wonderful.
But the tomato pie, you'll see, it's very easy to do, very simple, and absolutely tastes delicious. It's not tasting
Be
like
as
pizza,
organic
by the
as
way.
possible.
If you
Excuse
get
me?
produce from here, it's going to be because the food here is all local, really fresh, organic. It's amazing.
That's what I'm looking for. Using
Yeah.
organic product, fresh product. That's
Yeah.
the best
Go
situation
local.
there. Yeah.
Right.
Go local. Yeah.
Okay. So Roman and Barbara, what is it that we can do to support you? I saw on your website that you have a donation area, so I know you're accepting donations, which would be great for everyone. I
Yeah.
put the link to your website in the comments here, so that anybody that would like to donate, that would be great. And what else other than donations can people do to help to support you guys?
Oh my gosh! If they're local, they can. We've been having people coming out to help us with the stuff because we're doing 95% of the work ourselves. Obviously, we have to have contractors come in to do the plumbing and the electrical so that everything is safe. But we're doing everything else 100% ourselves. So people have been coming. So if you're in Eugene, Oregon, give us a buzz. Stop by if you want to cut down a dead tree, or you like hammering stuff or painting stuff or whatever. We're always happy to take volunteers to come and help us. We'll feed you.
We're open for Home Depot cards and Lowe's cards.
Yes.
And Amazon cards.
Gift cards would be great.
Leftovers. Like I have $5 left on my Home Depot card. I cannot go even buy something. Just send it to us. We'll take care of
I'm
it.
pretty sure that we've paid quite a number of Home Depot employees' salaries over the last month because drop in money like it's going out of style at Home Depot. Let me tell you, it's like every other day we're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks, God willing, because I know that you're very busy, and I appreciate you coming on today as the guest. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, you guys.
Good luck. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.